Hey everyone, this is Frankie with the Rogue Rant. Today I want to talk about work for food stamps. First, I want to preface that I believe that this is a valuable entitlement to struggling families. I get that. A good example is when I was a kid, around 2, my dad went back to Italy. He didn't pay child support. My mom was stuck with 4 kids, working minimum wage jobs because she didn't finish high school, and she had to figure out how to feed us. Food stamps came in handy. And she did that until she could get off. Just like unemployment. Unemployment is set there as a way to help you get through a year to try to find a job. It's not there as a crutch to continue on for life, for eternity. Within many cities, though, you've got a lot of these minimum wage workers that are out there. They're working 1, they're working 2 jobs. And it's hard when they sit there and they look out the window. They see Johnny the drug dealer, Johnny the drug addict. He's out there buying T-bones, coming through their line, using their Obama phone, having a great life and not working. It appears that many of those living off government largesse enjoy the trinkets that so many of us only dream about. No, I get it. I understand that not all who use government assistance for food fall in this type of entitlement behavior, as I explained with my mother. However, our frame of reference is often created by the great number of people that are permitted to do this through these failed policies. Right now, there are basically 2 welfare programs out there for food. You have SNAP, formerly known as the food stamp program, it helps poor people go out and get food, nutrition. You have WIC, which is a program for women, infants, and children. Both these administer benefits through a debt-like card and permits people to go out and purchase, and in some cases get cash back from an account that is made available from us, the taxpayers. We're the people that are out there funding it. In some states like California and New York, they have some crazy rules. They have no prohibition, basically. You can go out there, you can use your funds, you can buy alcohol, tobacco, lottery tickets, go crazy, all on the taxpayer's back. While this program certainly serves many who are legitimately in need, this means tested entitlement program is also rife with exploitation. We see it all the time. Sadly, we see the fraud by those who are able-bodied adults who need a job, that can work a job, but they're not working a job. They'd rather get that taxpayer-funded welfare. You know, Barack Obama, back in 2009, he suspended the work requirement for able-bodied adults without dependents. And before that, states could come in, they could impose limits on SNAP, but not anymore. As of January 22nd, though, of this year, many states, about 22 of them, went out and said, okay, well, let's put limits or reinstate work requirements on AWDS, A-B-A-W-D-S. That's a long acronym. But the AWDS for SNAP. When they did this, the food stamp enrollment that had reached historical levels had declined. Yes, historical levels we've reached since 2005. But with this, they saw that implementing that people had to work and there were time limits, that the number of able-bodied adults on food stamps dropped by 75%. What's that tell you? It tells you, A, that they're forced to get out there and get a job and they're getting a job, or B, they don't want to work for their food stamps and they're doing something else. You know, I saw this when I lived in Italy, in a city where many of the people I thought were well-to-do. Next thing I know, they're out there on the streets, cleaning up the streets and being served coffee, and they're in nice clothes. I'm wondering what's going on. The mayor, Barilli, decided, hey, if you want welfare, you got to get out there and you got to work hard for it. We can't afford to pay people to clean the streets, so you get out and clean those streets if you want welfare. You know, reforms like this is what helped Kansas. It freed nearly 13,000 people from welfare as of December 31st and 2013. Nearly 60% of those leaving food stamps found employment. So that's a good thing. They're out there and they're forced to go out and find a job. And they found it within 12 months. Their incomes rose, too, by 127% per year. In Maine, you got the First Lady, Ann LePage. She's out there working a summer job as a waitress because her husband's salary of $70,000 a year as a governor is just not enough. But what she's done is she's laid down the logic that if you're able-bodied, then get out there and work and get off the taxpayers' dough. You know, prior to Maine's January 1st requirement on AWODs with the work, there were 12,000 food stamp recipients. By March, the number had dwindled down to 2,600. Isn't that amazing? All they said is, hey, you got to work 20 hours a week. You got to get some kind of work training. We want you to get out there and work. Not only does stupid policy permit stupid activity for these able-bodied workers, it takes away from the value of an intact family. You know, the family. The family is the world's greatest welfare agency and probably the most successful. What the federal government has done with welfare is small and trifling compared to what the families in America do on a daily basis. They care for their own. They relieve family stress. They provide medical help, education. They basically help each other out. They support each other. No civil government could begin to finance what the families underwrite daily. The Family's Welfare Program, for all its failures from time to time, is proportionally the world's most successful operation. As of May of this year, our government still has over 43 million people on food stamps, on SNAP. More than 4 in 10 families in America receive some kind of means-tested government assistance. So what's the moral of my rant, you may be asking? I hope not after hearing all that. The moral is there is worth in work. Government interference, however, in its progressive socialist policies to provide false philanthropy and create equal mediocrity, not equality, not by any means, robs an individual of that personal attainment and turns them into dependents into the wards of the state. Working Americans are making their frustrated voices heard. It's time for the government to get out of the way and out of their paychecks with the priority of those who work and produce over those who are not. So my advice to the AWODs in those 22 states and possibly more, you better get out and get a job. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with another Rogue Rant.